Donald Trump, GOP frontrunner and potentially the next president of these United States. And quite frankly, he may be the best man to do it. Don't believe me with all the current negative hype around him? Well, I don't blame you. But you should really look into the man's history and find some facts that you may not currently know. Luckily for you, we did some digging and found 10 Donald Trump facts that prove he might just be the best current candidate for the US presidency. First up, the degree he has says quite a lot. He graduated out of the Wharton School of Business at the University of Pennsylvania in 1968 with a bachelor's degree in economics. Out of the 43 men who were presidents, 15 of them had some education at an Ivy League school. And with Penn also being one of the best business schools in the nation, it's quite the impressive addition to his resume. In terms of awards, he has one from the Marine Corps Law Enforcement Foundation, and it is the Commandment of the Marine Corps Leadership Award. A nice thing to note is he vies to be the Commander-in-Chief. Speaking of awards, he was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame in 2013. Now, of course, this doesn't really add to his resume, but if Trump becomes president, he'd have the best political career held by an ex-WWE employee, better than Jesse Ventura's stint as the governor of Minnesota. In terms of civil rights endorsements, the brother of civil rights era icon Medgar Evers endorsed Trump for president out of concern for American job opportunities. Number 5. For character purposes, Trump doesn't have a vice like some other presidents. He's never smoked, been drunk, or done any drugs, at least as far as we know. This is because his brother Fred was an alcoholic and warned Trump all his life not to do it. Another character-revealing move is that he does not rely on donors like other politicians. The fact that he uses his personal wealth makes him a political outsider and goes against a huge issue in Washington, which is political action committee funding, where votes are basically bought. Next up, let's look at Trump's infamous wall content and break it down a bit. Trump's plan isn't simply to build a wall around the entire American border, it's only a third of what is claimed, which would be about 1,000 miles of actual passable terrain. And even then, his standpoint on the US and Mexican relations is to renegotiate the NAFTA trade agreement, which does have its flaws, and increasing border fees. Number 8. If you want to go for a chillier international relations issue, Trump is one of the few presidential candidates to be open to talking with Vladimir Putin. You know, the dude who rules Russia. The man with probably the most power in the other half of the globe? Of course, you could focus on him being willing to get along with Putin, but with diplomatic relations, what are you going to do with someone you're trying to strike a deal with? Call him a thug? Generally doesn't work so well. Number 9. Contrary to popular belief, Trump is popular with Hispanic voters, not just Miriam Whiter, who shows up at his Las Vegas rally. Yep, in fact, in a story by Neil Monroe on Breitbart, 2 out of 3 Hispanic voters oppose the campaign to increase immigration into the United States. And the majority of Hispanic voters, 54% in fact, find jobs and the economy extremely important issues, where Trump seems to trump his adversaries. No pun intended. And finally, if you want a quote bomb, then stop looking at his latest controversial statements and look at one with some real meat to it. He is attributed in saying this: "Part of being a winner is knowing when enough is enough. Sometimes you have to give up the fight and walk away, and move on to something that's more productive." And if that's not inspiring, well, by golly, I don't know what is. So, is Donald Trump really the best candidate for this job? Maybe after a future video on this channel, you might disagree. But either way, the Don is still making noise, and he isn't going to stop anytime soon with all of the accomplishments he's had. But alright guys, that's it for our video of 10 facts that prove Donald Trump might actually be a pretty good candidate for the United States president. Disagree? Agree? Feel free to let us know in the comment section below. But alright, thanks so much for watching this video, and as always, I am the Black Link, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.